Hello lords and ladies, welcome to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. It's Friday, which means it's time for the return of Flashback Friday. Flashback Friday is a series on Cartoon Hangout where I review older cartoons. Since the main goal of Cartoon Hangout is to show people that if they give newer shows a shot, they might actually like them, back when I thought up Cartoon Hangout, I decided to also review older cartoons for those who want to walk down memory lane or just refuse to give new stuff a try. So it's without further ado that I introduce a cartoon that replaces Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10. It's been nearly a decade since I last saw the show that started it all, and so my memories will probably be a tad bit fuzzy. Since this is an older show, and thus you've had plenty of time to watch it, I'll try my best not to spoil any future episodes, although I can't fully guarantee it. Hopefully we all enjoy the trip down memory lane as we gear up for the reboot in 2017. As we're all probably familiar with, the show revolves around a 10-year-old boy named Ben Tennyson who, while goofing off in the woods, happens upon a mysterious watch that we all know as the Omnitrix that sticks itself to his wrist and allows him to transform into one of 10 awesome aliens. The first episode really does an excellent job introducing us to some of the main characters such as Ben, his cousin Gwen, their grandpa Max, and even the, at the time, mysterious villain known as Vilgax, who is chasing after the watch only to be badly injured in the resulting firefight. We really get a feel for these characters even though we're only with them for a brief time. Ben is obviously the careless young boy who gets into trouble, while Gwen is the studious counterpart to him, although she's just as hot-headed as her immature cousin is. The only character we don't really get a good feel for in this episode is Max, but if you've already watched Ben 10, then you can easily pick out moments when it's clear Max knows more than he lets on. We're also introduced to 4 out of 10 of Ben's alien forms: Diamond Head, Wild Mutt, Accelerate, and Heat Blast, although only one of them really gets a name in this episode. And of course the infamous Recharge mode, which turns Ben back into human form. It's actually a fairly cool idea for the time, since Ben would be a little too overpowered if there wasn't some catch to the watch. It makes sense to give him limitations. It's similar to how in Miraculous Ladybug, the titular superheroine can only stay in her superhero persona for so long after she uses her Lucky Charm ability. Despite being a decade old, the show still manages to hold up in terms of music, animation, voice acting, and action. It's no wonder the original Ben 10 still holds a place in many a Ben 10 fan's heart. Seeing Ben still naive and untrained makes for a good laugh here and there throughout the first episode, like when Ben first transforms.
I'm on fire! I'm on fire!
Or when he has to hold back from showboating after defeating one of Vilgax's robot minions.
Oh yeah, who's bad? Yeah! Well, I think my work here is done.
Side note, does this minion look like he's wearing a bondage suit? I swear Man of Action has an unhealthy obsession with similar designs. It's not a nitpick, but rather something I find amusing. I think I've said all I have to say about And Then There Was 10. Before we end the video, I'll just point out that I will be doing reviews of the first season of Ben 10 every Friday, but then after that we'll be switching to a totally different older cartoon. After we get through that show's first season, I'll let the fans vote on what we do next, which could include coming back to do Season 2 of Ben 10. Let me know what you liked about the episode, as well as whether you're excited to see me review the rest of Ben 10. Thanks for watching, and take care. Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon.
Spend a summer with your grandpa, honey. It'll be an adventure.
That's right, Gwen. This summer, you've got tons of Ben 10 reviews to look forward to, and it'll be quite the trip. I know this review is late. I promised it months ago, and thanks to the theme of Season 2, you're finally getting it. If you haven't already heard, I'll be reviewing 2 Ben 10 episodes a week. To find my review of Episode 1, either click on the card in the top right corner of the screen, or feel free to look through Cartoon Hangout Season 1's playlist. Episode 2, Washington, B.C., gives us the series debut of not only 3 new alien transformations, but also the kooky villain Dr. Animo, who seriously reminds me of Jackie Chan's uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures. Is that just me? Maybe it's the nose, and the receding hairline. Now, you think a villain like Dr. Animo wouldn't be a threat, or an interesting villain, but you'd be wrong. Well, at least you'd be wrong In this episode, I vaguely recall the writers treating him like a joke in later seasons or the sequels, but right now, in this episode, he's an interesting villain, or at the very least he's fun. He also represents the other side of the coin for Ben in this episode. See, Dr. Animo turns to villainy because he thinks he deserves an award, whereas the beginning of this episode has Ben lusting after some sumo cards and believing that he deserves them for being a hero. Of course, by the episode's end, he learns his lesson, and that being a hero is its own reward, even if he'll probably forget that by the next episode. Therein lies one of this episode's and this show's greatest strengths. The show has some good messages for kids, and yes, even adults, that aren't so obvious they're groan-inducing. You want your lessons to be subtle, or else you risk people dismissing them outright. The episode also features a lot of pretty laugh-out-loud moments, such as the one I opened the review with, or Ben as Heat Blast freaking out over a kid's sumo cards after rescuing people from a burning fire.
No way! A gold sumo slammer card! Where'd you get it? I've been searching all over for that!
And dang, look at that. No overly slapstick comedy moments either. Man, don't you just miss that in cartoons? Although I wouldn't call this episode as great as the first one, it's just as fun. And isn't that what you want your Ben 10 episodes to be? I can't really think of any specific thing in this episode that dragged it down or was bad. So I think we have another good episode on our hands. The action throughout is very satisfying, from Forearms taking on a reanimated woolly mammoth to his battle in the skies as Stinkfly. It just looks so smooth and exciting that you could really lose yourself in the moments. I did, however, stop to really admire the backdrops, and I have no idea what this effect is called, but I do love the style the artists on the show use. It doesn't feel grainy, I just don't know what else to call it, other than an interesting choice for the show. Perhaps it makes the character stand out more sharply. Either way, I can't think of another cartoon that looks like this, especially not in 2016. Anyway, that's my review, Ben 10 Episode 2. What did you think of this episode? Let me know down in the comments section below, and thanks for watching. Take care.